On this episode, I'm going to show you how to melt hormone belly fat, how to age backwards, but specifically, I'm going to show you 10 hormones and blood work tests I want you to get done this year. It's super easy and simple, but these are the things that are going to help you optimize your hormones like a boss. It's going to help you biologically age backwards. Your mood is gonna go up, girl. Your energy is gonna go up. That fat burning metabolism is gonna go up. Not only that, girl, you are going to look better, you're gonna feel better. We're talking your hair, your skin, your nails, that skin tightness. Girl, you just want to feel yummy and delicious in 2026, right? I got you. So I'm going to show you the 10 hormones and blood work I want you to get checked, and then I'm also going to show you what to do with those numbers. For those of you that are new here, what's up? I'm Natasha. I'm actually a retired internal medicine RN, now certified hormone coach, mama of 4. I come from a background where I ended up becoming a widow when I was only 33 years old with 4 kids because my first husband, my previous husband, passed away from colon cancer at 37 years old. And it was horrible, it was traumatic, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it went undiagnosed for over a year. And not to scare you, but it was preventable. And so this is what really fuels me to show up on here and in my communities and in my programs and on my other YouTube channel to help the ladies and the guys biologically age backwards. So not only do you look and feel amazing, girl, because you can, that is the era we live in now, but also to protect your body, protect your cells from getting sick, okay? So the stuff that I'm talking about today is going to be completely life-changing, so go grab a drink and let's get started. Before I go into the 10 tests I want you to get done that are super simple and easy, I need you to understand the things that are causing you to age faster, because you can actually slow down the aging process. That's the era we're in now, especially if you're in my world, girl, which is amazing. It's not just about looking and feeling amazing, which is what we want, but it's, like I said, to prevent the cancers and the diseases. We don't have to experience those anymore. We can actually prevent those things from happening. Inflammaging, so inflammation, high blood sugar, and hormone imbalances, and stress. Those 4 things are the things that will age you faster than anything else. That's why all my videos on here, all my programs, all my communities, everything I talk about is to actually reverse all 4 of those things. So the inflammaging, right? So the inflammation in the body, the high blood sugar, you know, when you get that stubborn belly fat, the junk food cravings, it actually causes the body to rust internally when your blood sugar is really high. And by the way, side note, over 50% of Americans are pre-diabetic and they do not know. Like, we actually live in a time period now where more people are pre-diabetic and diabetic than are not. But we're also in this amazing era right now where we have all the tools we need so that being obese and being a diabetic, we can completely obliterate that. It's like you don't even have to experience that anymore. That's the cool thing about it. And then, of course, having your hormones imbalanced. So a shout out to all my ladies that are over 35, over 40, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, when our hormones just completely tank because we're living longer than we've ever lived before. And this used to be normal for women to just suffer through this. Now, when we get ahead of it and we optimize our hormones, you're going to live longer and you're going to look better. Your hormones, girl, are your fountain of youth for your hair, for your skin, for your body, for everything, all right? And then, of course, stress. You already know that stress is the biggest killer, right? And so that is another thing that will age your cells and make you look and feel older way before your time. The first test that you want to get done, and you can go to your primary care doctor for this. Stay till the end. I'll talk about what to do if your doctor is giving you a hard time or your clinician is giving you a hard time about this blood work. So the first thing that you want to get checked are your hormones. So that's your estrogen levels, your progesterone levels, your testosterone levels, yes, for you 2 ladies, and your thyroid levels. We can go really deep in all the specific tests for all of these things, but I just want to keep it really simple for you. So I just want you to remember these hormones. I'm going to put them here for you. This is going to be your foundation as a woman. this is foundational, especially if you are close to that perimenopause age group or you are past that. This is going to be foundational for you for weight loss, for disease, cancer prevention, for burning that belly fat, keeping your bones strong, keeping your muscles strong, keeping your hair on your head if your hair is starting to thin. Your skin, you want to keep your skin nice and tight and right. You want to have a nice, juicy, powerful libido, right? Way into your 80s and into your hundreds. I know that's what I want. I want to stay hot until I'm in my hundreds. That's my goal, okay? Well, you need to optimize your hormones. In order to optimize your hormones, babe, you have to understand where your hormones are at. I mentioned this before, but I got my hormones tested this year because I turned 40, and my testosterone was in the toilet. Even though I'm a hormone coach and I do so many things naturally that I teach you ladies, and I've been teaching my ladies for years, still my testosterone levels went down. And it affected my energy, it affected my metabolism, just my stamina with work, with my business, with life, with being a mom, with especially in the gym. I just wasn't able to lift as heavy as I used to. I started on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy and I feel like a new woman again. So this is why you want to get your hormones checked, ladies. Then the next thing you're going to get checked is your iron levels. If you're anemic, and you've normalized just being anemic because your doctor was like, it's genetic. That's what I was told. I'm not anemic anymore, by the way, but I was anemic since I was a toddler. It truly was a genetic thing. For a lot of women that have ancestry in warm tropical climates, it was actually it was a genetic mutation that kept us alive in countries especially that have a lot of malaria. So that's where that comes from. So it truly was genetic for me. I have been able to completely reverse it, but it's something that I battled with my entire life. And when you're anemic as a woman, your energy goes down, you get actually an increase in anxiety. So you're feeling more anxious. You get the fatigue, just low motivation. And not only that, it's actually unhealthy for your body to not have, because your iron is what's bringing oxygen to all the different parts of your body. So you want to get your iron levels checked. But the most important thing is that you're staying on top of your iron. You do not need to be anemic in this day and age. The next thing that you want to get checked is you want to check your inflammation levels. So one of the simplest tests to get checked for your inflammation levels, because we want to prevent the inflammaging, right ladies, is the CRP, the C-reactive protein. It's a very simple blood work test that your doctor can do, and it's going to measure inflammation in your body. And the reason why I want you to care about this is, yes, of course we can reverse this, but inflammation is the environment that disease and cancer and heart attacks are bred from. We want to keep our inflammation levels really low in the body so that you look younger, you feel younger, but you're preventing all these other things from happening. This is actually a better test and a better indicator for preventing heart attacks than cholesterol, than getting your LDLs checked. So yes, cholesterol, you can get that checked, but understanding inflammation in your body is going to be way more preventative for you if you have a history or a family history of people in your life who have had heart attacks or strokes. We want to keep that inflammation levels down. We want to keep our inflammaging down. So you need to get your CRP checked. Next one is we want to check your blood sugar levels. This is so important, oh my goodness, because so many people, so many adults right now are walking around and they're pre-diabetic or they're diabetic. Jason Delurio, I don't know if I said his name right. He looks healthy on the outside. He just had his blood work checked and he's pre-diabetic. This is so many people right now. There's more people that are pre-diabetic and diabetic than are not. The reason why you care, or you should care, is one, I know you want to lose that stubborn belly fat, of course, but when people are a diabetic or pre-diabetic, the increased chance of cancers, of heart disease, of strokes, of just not feeling great, high blood pressure, all those things go through the roof. And it's all preventable, girl, okay? So this is something we can easily reverse right now, but you need to know your numbers. Your hemoglobin A1C is going to check how much sugar has been floating around in your bloodstream for the last 3 months and binding to your cells, and it actually causes proteins to break down, collagen, You know, we want to prevent the saggy skin. We want to prevent, you know, our hair falling out and all those things, right? The discoloration in the skin. We want to prevent that stubborn belly fat. That all has to do with how much sugar and insulin has been floating around in the body, and it literally breaks down organs. This is why diabetics eventually have all the organ failures, and they get wounds that don't heal and all that stuff. We want to preserve our organs, right? We want our organs to stay young and healthy. So we're going to really optimize our blood sugar and our insulin levels. So you can start off with just a hemoglobin A1C. There's some other tests you can do, like a fasting glucose and insulin. But once again, I'm keeping this simple for you. Just tell your doctor hemoglobin A1C. You want to get your blood sugar levels checked, okay? That's a basic human right. You should know those numbers. Okay, next one is vitamin D. This is one that a lot of doctors, unfortunately, are just unaware and they will not test. So you just got to bug your doctor or go find a new doctor if they won't test your vitamin D levels. There's so much research to show how vitamin D is a huge indicator for preventing cancers and diseases, and also to help your mood. A lot of times people are anxious and stressed and feeling depressed, but really their vitamin D levels are low, their iron levels are low, their hormones are low. So it's not that you're depressed, babe, it's that your blood work is all out of whack, okay? So this is something that can easily be supplemented with. Vitamin D with a K2, for example, so easy to fix and reverse. And in the women that I worked with, they started on a good vitamin D, and their mood improved, their energy improved, all from this one thing. The other thing, for my melanated sisters, okay, and brothers, the darker your skin, the harder it is for your body to absorb vitamin D from the sun. It's just a normal adaptation. It's not a bad thing. But if you're, for example, living up north, or you have darker skin, you're not going to absorb the amount of vitamin D that your body needs. Ask me how I know this. My first husband, who passed away, was African. He from West Africa, dark skin. And by the time he was already palliative in his 30s from cancer, the new doctor that we got, they checked his vitamin D levels and they were like non-existent, right? So, and no one had ever told me this. I had never learned. There's a strong connection between low vitamin D levels and cancer. So it's one of those things that it's such an easy thing to turn around. So get your vitamin D levels checked. I should also say I was supplementing on vitamin D and my vitamin D levels were low. I had to switch my vitamin D supplement. I switched it to a vitamin D with a K2 instead of just cod liver oil, and I will be getting my levels checked, of course, and I will report back to you. So the next one is getting your metabolic lipid panel checked. So this is going to check your liver function, your triglycerides, your liver enzymes. We want to make sure your liver is functioning properly because your liver detoxes your body. People are always asking, oh, how do I do a detox? They want to do a detox. We need to first make sure that your liver is detoxing properly, because that is your greatest organ next to the kidneys and next to your colon, pooping things out, to detoxify your body. If your liver is bogged down from a whole bunch of fat, right? So you got that stubborn belly fat, you have that visceral fat, you got the fatty liver, which you probably won't have any symptoms for. This is why you need to get a blood work done and check. If your liver enzymes are high, your triglyceride levels are high, it could be because you have something called a fatty liver, which once again is so common, even if you don't drink alcohol. We want to reverse that, but first you need to know what your liver enzymes are so that your liver can actually detox properly. And then of course, I will show you how you can do that. All right, loves. So last but not least is getting your cortisol levels checked. And the reason why I'm putting this as a last test to get, because it's a complicated test. Your cortisol levels go up and down all day long. They just fluctuate so much. Just like your other hormones are kind of tricky to test too, but cortisol especially is hard to check. So if you can't get your cortisol levels checked, because it's not just a simple blood test, or even if you get a simple blood test, it's just not that accurate because we want your cortisol levels to be high in the morning and we want them to be lower later on in the day. So what I get my ladies to do, because I help people reverse high cortisol, is just look at these symptoms. I'll post them all here. If you have any of these symptoms, then there's a good chance your cortisol is dysregulated. And the reason why you should care about that is when your cortisol levels are dysregulated, it's really challenging to lose fat. Not only are you stressed all the time, and your nervous system is anxious and dysregulated all the time, you got that stubborn hormone belly fat, You got the junk food cravings, you wake up during the night, you're just stressed all the time. It's hard for you to slow down. You might feel fatigued. And because all these hormones influence each other, the cortisol and the progesterone and the estrogen and the insulin, all of these hormones influence each other. So that's why you want to kind of get a really good idea, at least of the first 9 things I talked about. And then if you're able to do the cortisol, great. But if not, just look at the signs of dysregulated cortisol right here for you. Now, what do you do about this? Okay, this video is already getting long, so I will leave a free resource for you. But what I do want you to know is all of these things are very reversible. You know, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, with proper iron supplements, with fixing your gut health, with detoxing your liver, and most importantly, re-regulating your blood sugar. So there's lots of different ways that I help people do that with either supplements or GLPs or peptides, intermittent fasting. And what I'll do is I'll leave a resource for you so you can empower yourself. I'll add it in both my Feminine Energy Academy, and I'll also add it as a free resource in my biohacking community, because I just want to get this information out to as many people as possible to help you stay healthy. And the last thing I was just going to mention too is if your doctor is just not cooperating with you, and I coach women all the time, and this happens all the time, where the doctors are just outdated with their information and they don't want to run their tests, be your biggest advocate. Find a different doctor, find a different nurse practitioner or clinician that will listen to you, okay? You don't need to stay with that doctor. Find a different doctor that is willing to run these tests and help you through this. And of course, look at my resources so that you just know how to have these types of conversations with your doctors, and you could know what supplements you can get on to get ahead of all of this. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have more questions, and I love you.